Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Tari Munjezi. We are coming to you live from the Durban ICC. This is where the SADC 46th Summit of Heads of States and Government is taking place. We really are excited today to be speaking to the Acting Director General, Government Communication and Information System, GCIS. And the Director General, thank you so much. Nomonde Mnukwa, thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about this important summit for the country. South Africa continue to host events of this magnitude, and people will be asking, why is this always attractive for South Africa to host such big events for the region, what it means for South Africa as well?
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me. I think the first thing is about the fact that as South Africa we have proven leadership, and not only in the continent or in the region, but globally. You'd remember that we recently had the pleasure or the really appreciation of having to be the chairperson of the G20, which ended in November last year. So to us, hosting events of this magnitude is something that we can say it comes as far back as, probably if we can put it not too far, we can say 2010 when we hosted the World Cup 2010. But I think without taking it far back, I will start in hosting the World Cup 2010, which I was a little bit far ago when Africa was known as the West underdeveloped continent. However, we proved to the world that Africa is not as bad as it is being perceived, but that hosting of the 2010 World Cup assisted us as a country to build infrastructure, sustainable infrastructure, which is today we see it assisting us as a nation to be able to host events of this magnitude, because we no longer have to build whenever there is an event that we have to host as a country. We are utilizing the existing infrastructure. We're utilizing the existing capabilities and experience, which has been proven also that all our events that we've been hosting, they are incident-free. Because every time we host, we get to sharpen our capabilities, our knowledge, our skills, and our experience. And therefore, this means a lot to us as South Africa, because it comes at a time whereby we are realizing that the region itself is having challenges in terms of industrialization. The figures are showing that there is drop in terms of industrialization, whilst we are working very hard in terms of ensuring that initiatives like your Africa Free Trade continent are assisting us to build up as a continent, whilst also we're working on initiatives like AGOA. And therefore, we then are looking back and saying, how do we make sure that we heighten implementation of such in such a way that our chairmanship of being SADC as South Africa then is an enabler to ensure that such initiatives are successful. And therefore, this is a major opportunity for us, because the region is well known for being the home of critical minerals. However, what we have to look at now is how do we make sure that we don't export raw minerals?
Yes.
However, we build capabilities within the region of the minerals that we own, and we produce them and we sell them and export them as finished products, thereby reducing poverty within the region, thereby creating employment within the region, thereby growing our economy also within the region. But also, whilst we're looking at that, is what are the other enablers, which then becomes our priority to ensure that our ports are improved, our railway lines as well are improved, so that they become an enabler to ensure that whatever that we want to do is supported by the necessary infrastructure that will enable us to be agile as a region and be able to achieve efficiencies as well and to be competitive, because if we spend much on logistics, then it then defeats the whole purpose of focusing on ensuring that we produce locally, because it's then going to be expensive if we then export. And also importing as well, because not only we're looking at exporting, we're also looking at improving imports, so that in those areas whereby we don't have capabilities as a region, we are able also to remain within ensuring that our cost of living is not unnecessarily rising, and thereby making issues difficult for our own people. So we're looking at that. We're also a region that is very good in agriculture. Hence, our other focus in terms of this SADC chairmanship is going to be focusing on agriculture. However, we're looking at agriculture to be able to play at least 3 major roles in our region. First of all, feeding our nations, creating food security, but also contributing to economic growth. That is, we then going to be selling and exporting as well, and importing, but also ensuring that within the region we have a competitiveness, and we therefore have things that we grow in the region that are not grown anywhere, because we have the advantages of a good climate in the region. Despite the fact that we also want to focus on climate change so that we build resilience as well, which will be other focus as well.
For ordinary South Africans who might not be in this province, they are looking at this happening in this province, asking themselves, what is it in there for them? For ordinary South Africans. Yes.
I think the first thing is about the number of people that are going to be descending down to South Africa.
Yeah.
Because our strategy hasn't been only focusing on hosting the best leaders summit for the SADC, but it's about people who are going to be coming to South Africa to experience the culture of South Africa, and explore the scenery, the beautiful places. So we're looking at our strategy for people to come before the summit so that they can experience the beauty of South Africa, but also some to remain after the summit as well. So that would then not only expose people to be continuous tourists to South Africa, but currently it will then create opportunities, especially in the hospitality sector, because we are expecting that Durban alone to host more than 4,000 delegates who are coming for the summit. So it then means that people in the hospitality sector will be able to be in a better position to improve their services, but also to benefit from people who are going to be descending to KZN. And that on its own will have a major contribution to economic growth, especially the contributor being tourism, the contributor being the hospitality sector, and any other, because when people visit the country, they always look at what to buy and bring to their own loved ones back where they come from. But also we are looking at an experience that will make, because we do know that the word of mouth travels a lot. So when people are talking about the experience of South Africa, particularly Ubuntu and so forth, it will then make the other people who've been there to always come back. And when they come back, obviously they want to explore the other parts now of South Africa. That will then benefit the other people who didn't manage to be part of this closed, when I'm saying closed environment, the smaller environment of Durban. So it will make the other people to want to come back to the other areas of South Africa. But just these few days, we will see a major contribution towards our GDP. And that on its own, because whenever the GDP is performing well, it creates an opportunity for further investments and for employment opportunities. So that's what we are hoping. We are also hoping that as much as this is going to be an indirect benefit to the people of South Africa, but they will feel the benefits later because it's going to expose South Africa to the whole world.
Okay.
Because the eyes will be looking at what will be happening in South Africa, and thereby creating interest to the other people, be it investors who then want now to be part of what South Africa is doing, and thereby investing maybe in business or in whatsoever way. And when a country is prosperous, its people also get to be prosperous.
That's a way to leave it as well. I think a lot of people will be looking at of what benefits are, but I think that really creates a scope for that. Some of these opportunities, they come in later, but we are seeing a lot of benefits as well for the locals as well in the province, but the spillover happens to other provinces as well. Mr. Nomonde Mnukwa, thank you so much for your time to speak to us here on Ubuntu Radio. Really such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Lovely. Thank you.
This is Ubuntu Radio. Ubuntu Radio.
A product of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, South Africa.